Have you seen all of the Marry Me recipes out there? There's a Marry Me chicken. I'm sure there's some for beef as well. These are Marry Me butter beans. It's a plant-based recipe. It's phenomenal. I only show you recipes here that are slam dunk and excellent that I know your families will love. I've put it into the 1 quart insulated bowl so that it's easy for serving for a gathering any time of year. You will absolutely love this. I know the color's probably not what you think, but trust me, make these and you will know why they're called Marry Me butter beans. Let's take a look. We're going to start with a shallot. This is a really big one. If you are cooking for a smaller amount, like making a regular batch, look for a small shallot or cut it in half. I'm making a double batch today and I feel like this is enough. And if you don't have shallots, but you've got some red onion or yellow onion, you can try that as well. We want to mince this. Basically what we're making is a spread that's going to go on toast. So we want it to be nice and small. The electric twist and chop makes it super easy. The post in the center goes up and down. Watch when I pulse and you'll see it move. That's it. I'm also going to use this to do our sun-dried tomatoes. I'll show you. You need 4 cloves of garlic per batch. My cloves are pretty big. I'm making a double batch. I'm going to go with 6. Just put your garlic in there with the skin. Put the handle on the bottom if you struggle with hand strength with this tool. If you've got strong hands, you can give it a good squeeze. It's really, really easy. Your tool will help you pull out the paper, and I'm just going to add this garlic right to the top of the chopped shallots since it's all going to cook together. I'm going to grab some of the sun-dried tomatoes. These are julienne cut, and I'm going to chop them. And basically, we want them to be minced. So we'll add them right to the electric twist and chop. Do you have this tool already? And if you do, what do you like to chop with yours? I love it for so many things. You see me use it a lot. I can use it for desserts too, like making my own blizzards, chopping up graham crackers. I am pulling out these tomatoes and I'm not rinsing them off, but I don't want all of the oil. So if you have these in the fridge, just let them sit out for a little bit so that olive oil can melt. That way it's not all mixed up and it's harder to separate. All right, let's chop these too. Perfect. They're nice and small. Sun-dried tomatoes have a lot of flavor, so we will enjoy them more if they're nicely minced as they blend into the recipe. I'll give you a lesson on how to open cans with our smooth edge can opener. If you create a straight line between you and the can, that's the proper way to attach it. If you try to move it from the side, it can be awkward. Straight line between you and the can, simply start turning and it grabs onto the can. It breaks the seal. It doesn't actually cut anything. So that's why you'll have a smooth edge. Even the tops that have pull tabs, I still prefer to remove the tops this way because I won't have those sharp edges. Reverse the direction and it pops off. You've got a button over here and you'll see, you see the little claws? It closes these on this side. So it makes it easy to lift off the lid. For this recipe, we want to keep the liquid, so don't drain them. I'm going to prepare the recipe today in the 3-quart stainless steel saucepan. These are fantastic. And check this out. The insides, you'll notice this is where the handle is. There are no rivets, so it's really easy to clean up. Lifetime guarantee goes in the oven as well as your dishwasher. I find it really easy to wash. This is a vegan recipe, so we're using a plant-based butter today. You want to melt it, and if you don't care if it's plant-based, use the butter or oil that you have on hand. Once it gets kind of melted, we'll go ahead and add the shallots and the garlic, and we're just going to cook it a little bit until it's fragrant and the onions really start to soften. I am using a small mix and scraper in here. Did you know these are heat safe to over 600 degrees? They don't melt, they don't stain. If you've used something with turmeric or something like that on there, you might see some staining temporarily, but just pop it in the dishwasher and it will come out. Now that the onions have started to brown a little bit, we're ready for the next step. We'll add the sun-dried tomatoes. Do you see that brown fond that's on the sides there? The acid from the tomatoes pulls that right up off of the bottom, so it's going to make it easier to clean. All right, we'll add some seasonings. I have a blend here of oregano, basil, thyme, and crushed red pepper. I am using basil that's dried basil today. The recipe does call for fresh. I don't have that, and so I'm adding the basil at this point. So if you're using fresh, you're gonna add that towards the end. A little side note, if you saw me use two different scrapers and you're wondering what happened, this is the small mix-and scraper, this is the mini mix-and scraper, and then this one is the mix-and scraper. So we have three different sizes, but check this out. They have a spoon-shaped design, which makes it really easy for stirring batters and when you're using for cooking. We're ready now to add the rest of our ingredients. So I've got the butter beans. I'm using canned butter beans today with the liquid. And since I'm making a double batch, I'm adding both. Now, if you have this thing about butter beans, you don't think you like them, try it. Or you could use some cannellini beans if that's what you want. They're gonna be nice and creamy, and it's a great appetizer to have, especially for those who, you know, they don't wanna have all the dairy or the, you know, cracked chicken dips and things like that. This is a plant-based version that will make everyone happy. All right, we'll add to that some coconut milk. Now, the recipe calls for coconut or cream of coconut, and you don't need very much. But what you can do instead is use full-fat coconut milk. I had this in the freezer. I only needed half a can for another recipe that I made, so I just pulled out what I needed for this recipe. We need just a little bit of tomato paste. I freeze tomato paste, and so I just pulled out the little bit that I need. And then we'll add some lemon juice. Same thing, pulled it out of the freezer. So having a few basic staples in the freezer absolutely helps you make better use of your ingredients. Our next ingredient is nutritional yeast. This is often used in plant-based recipes. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of this. Let me show it to you. It looks like fish food. It kind of does, don't you think? It's yellow, it's flaky. It is not regular yeast. It is high in B12, so that's why a lot of people who eat a plant-based diet use a lot of nutritional yeast because it's so rich in that vitamin. It tastes kind of nutty, almost replaces the flavor of Parmesan cheese in plant-based recipes, and it adds a lot of kind of that cheesy flavor for this recipe without it adding any dairy at all. Have you tried nutritional yeast before? Tell us what you've put it in. Once it starts to simmer, make sure you stir occasionally to make sure it doesn't scorch on the bottom. And we're just gonna let it reduce in a bit of its liquid. But you really, once it's heated through, about 5 minutes is all that it takes. We're going to serve the beans on toast. I already have a couple slices of sourdough in here. For a larger family, you can put 6 slices of bread in here at a time. And I'm simply going to hit the top button here. I'm going to turn the dial to toast, push the button in, and it defaults to a shade of 4. You can go higher if you want, and how many slices. So I'm just going to agree with it. I'll reduce to 2 slices and then press start. So it's going to take 2 minutes and 45 seconds for our toast to be perfect. If you like it darker, you can always add more time. If you're making this to serve at a party and you want to have it on the buffet, go ahead and pour it right into your insulated bowls. It'll keep it hot for a couple of hours, and it will be a lot cleaner way to serve. Look at the bottom of this. Nice, huh? This is so delicious. You should taste it. And make sure that if you need salt or pepper, you add it. I've already sampled it. I didn't have to add any salt to it. It was perfect. With the insulated bowls too, you'll love that there's a hook to hold the lid up. So as your guests are serving, they won't make a mess everywhere. I'll show you how to put this together. I have my large serving platter here, my insulated bowl and toast. Now, if you are serving a crowd, you can make a bunch of toast and put it on here. Because this is sourdough, it doesn't seem to brown all that well, but it's still toasted. It has the beautiful toast texture. So this is, something that you might find in England. They do a lot of beans on toast there. This is fantastic. It's so good. You can just grab a little bit, put it on here. And I know it might look weird, but man, I'll tell you what, it is so tasty. You could even add, if you want to turn the leftovers into soup, you can add more vegetable broth. If you don't mind that it has a meat in it, you can use a chicken broth. But this is our Marry Me butter bean recipe. I hope you'll try this. Trust me, the flavor is phenomenal. I'll post the recipe in the comments. Let me know if you try it.